Hey, you hungry? Well, food equals fuel for every living being on Earth. But there are creatures that can live much longer or much shorter than we humans can without any refueling. So make yourself a sandwich and let's take a look at them. Giant anteater can go without food for just 1 to 3 days, but has to eat about 30,000 insects per day. Despite its name, it also loves termites, slurping them up with its long tongue. Kangaroo rat. This small creature can go hungry for up to 4 days, but doesn't drink water at all. It gets liquid from food. Giraffe can survive without food for up to 7 days. Giraffe's tongue is so long it can use it to clean its ears. Elephant can go without food for up to 7 days. Elephants experience complex emotions just like we humans do. For example, they can feel happiness or sadness. Wolf can go hungry for up to 10 days. Wolves generally need no more than 7 pounds of food per day to survive. But they like to get as full as possible, so they can gobble up to 20 pounds in one sitting. Lion goes without food for up to 12 days. Lion males are lazy hunters and let their lionesses do all the job instead. Tiger. Up to 14 days without food is easy for this massive feline, but when it gets to feeding at last, it can gorge itself, eating as much as 75 pounds of food in a single sitting. Rabbit. Although this furry little creature needs as little as 8 ounces of food per day, it can easily last without food at all for longer than a tiger, about 15 days. Condor can hunt for food without actually eating for 15 days. Condors are some of the largest birds out there, and because of their huge weight, they need the help of strong winds to stay in the air. Domestic cat surprisingly can deal with hunger for 20 days if there's enough water for it to drink. Just like humans, cats need water more than food. Horse. Much like cats, equines can go hungry for 20 days in a row, but then they need lots of fresh grass to graze on, about 15 to 20 pounds of it to be precise. Amoeba. Despite its microscopic size, amoeba can survive without feeding for 3 weeks, and its food are bacteria and other microscopic creatures. Axolotl. These weird critters feel pretty happy without food even for 21 days, and only need a couple of worms to stay this way for another long period of time. Leopard gecko. Its cold-blooded nature allows gecko to stay content without eating for a whole month, then munch on several large crickets and go on a diet again. Komodo dragon. These lizards are huge, but can go hungry for a month as well. Still, they usually eat as much as their own weight in one sitting and then lie in the sun digesting. Cockroach. They say cockroaches will survive anything, and no wonder. They can live without food for up to 30 days, and they don't even need head for that. Domestic dog. It all depends on the size of the dog, of course, but a large one can survive for as long as 38 days without any food. It will need water, though. Spotted salamander. Although it's smaller than a leopard gecko, a salamander goes even further when it comes to staying hungry. 40 days is a joke for this lizard. Camel. The ship of the desert, as this proud animal is often dubbed, can easily deal with 40 days long hunger. It stores water and sustenance as fat in its humps and fills them again in one go. Earthworm. These crawlers have no eyes or bones, but they feel okay without food for 50 days in a row. Usually, though, they need half their weight per day to feel satiated. Human. Given enough water, we can go without food for about 2 months. Nah, come on, I can't even survive an hour without checking out the fridge for a snack. Hedgehog. This curly ball of needles can survive for over 2 months without sustenance. And it doesn't only eat fruit. Insects and even small rodents are a large part of a hedgehog's diet. Shark. They're toothy, they're scary, but they only feed when necessary, being able to swim around hungry for 70 days. And they don't eat much. 3 to 7 pounds per day is usually enough for a shark to be content. Just don't take the 7 pounds out of me, please. Gila monster. If you haven't ever heard of it, relax, neither have I until recently. It's another lizard that can wave away food for almost 3 months and only needs 30% of its body mass eaten once per month. Bear. While hibernating, these animals can sustain themselves on their own fat for over 100 days. But then they constantly hunt for food, eating about 90 pounds of berries, fish, and meat per day. Emperor penguin. Females lay their eggs and leave fathers to stay with them while traveling over 50 miles across the ice. All this time, about 4 months, neither of them eat anything at all. Blue whale. The largest animal that ever lived, yes, it's bigger than both T-Rex and Megalodon shark, can go hungry for up to 5 months. Yet it normally gobbles up around 8,000 pounds of krill. Badger. Small as it is, a humble badger lies hibernating just like bears do. This way, it can survive without food for almost half a year, and then eats just a dozen mice to feel full. Python. Snakes are cold-blooded like lizards, which helps them feed more rarely. And pythons also have peculiar feeding habits. They swallow one big animal and then digest it for a while. Galapagos tortoise. The biggest and oldest tortoises in the world have very slow metabolism, allowing them to stay hungry for over a year. They can live over 100 years though, so it's just a moment for them. Scorpion. Just a couple of large crickets once a week, and a scorpion is pretty happy. If no food is available, well, it can survive for a year, no problem. Spider. Slowly luring prey into its web, a spider can tolerate hunger for a year and then gorge when the meal is ready. Salmon. For a fish so big, it eats surprisingly little, just 2 to 3 ounces per day, and if necessary, it can easily fast for over a year. Frog. Some species of these leaping amphibians can deal with a year and a half fasting like it's nothing. They don't like staying hungry though. Tick. 2 years without any food is absolutely okay for this tiny creature. It lies in wait until an animal comes close, then jumps on it and finally eats as long and as much as it likes. Crocodile. The largest and most ancient reptiles in the world coexisted with dinosaurs, and that's probably thanks to how long they can survive without food – up to 3 years. Lungfish. A fish that has lungs is weird enough, but a fish that can stay hungry for over 4 years is even more so. Imagine seeing a fish going out to the shore to bask in the sun. Trogoderma. Sounds like a new soap, but no. Larvae of these insects can sleep without eating for over 5 years, while adult critters only live for 5 to 10 days at most. Olm. These strange creatures are sometimes called human fish because of their pink skin and tiny hands. They only live deep in underwater caves and can stay without food for 10 years at a time. Tardigrade. Cockroaches? Tardigrades can survive the most extreme conditions on the planet and live happily without food or water for 30 years. Wow! How's that for survival skills?